guys, welcome back to the Inside Politics Show. My name's Carly Welch.
And I'm Byron Gobreth.
So this morning we sat down with presidential candidate Senator Bernie Sanders. He was really on message this morning, I think.
Absolutely, he had a lot of energy, which is pretty of character for him.
Yeah, pretty on character. His whole team did, actually. We sat down with the whole team. They were great. They really handled the bombardment of questions well. We had another reporter there with us as well, so there was a lot going on.
Yes, they really did. They went into a lot of the background of Bernie Sanders. Essentially, tragedy struck his family when they had to immigrate from Poland, but he grew up in a working-class Brooklyn neighborhood, really connecting with the voters and with that message.
So my parents were immigrants. They fled Poland after the Holocaust, and they worked hard to provide a good life for me and my brothers and sisters. They took good care of our family. We were never rich, but we always had what we needed. They were hard, working class people. And I saw the struggles that they and our friends and our family went through growing up in Brooklyn as part of a working class family, as part of a working class community. And seeing how they were taken advantage of by businesses, by corporations, had a tremendous impact on my later political ideologies. Being the son of Holocaust survivors had a tremendous impact on how I wanted to be a man, how I wanted to be involved in politics, and how I wanted to help people across this country and across the world.
Next, he talked about one of his big things is Medicare for All. That's been getting a lot of attention in this campaign. So he talked about how he's going to pay for this. And he said he's going to mostly tax the wealthy. In past kind of interviews and press conferences, he's talked about how he's going to tax like big companies like Amazon, but today he really focused on taxing the wealthy.
Essentially, there's been a lot of talk, especially like the whole "how are you going to pay for it" argument. And while some candidates have avoided, get really opening their mind up to what our campaign is really trying to get across, yes, taxes will go up, but premiums will be erased, and at the end of the day, you'll be paying less money.
Cost across the board for the American
Right,
people.
the American people will go down, correct, yes.
Another reporter on the scene that I mentioned that was there previously, he tried to attack Bernie and say, I don't know if I would say attack, but he came at him with some numbers, and Bernie came back and said those numbers are blatantly false.
Recently, when asked how you would pay for free health care, you answered that you would increase taxes to 52% on anybody making over $29,000 per year. At $15 an hour, full-time workers would be able to report a salary of this high, essentially turning the $15 an hour into $7 to $8 an hour after taxes. Do you think $29,000 is a reasonable expectation for a tax bracket at over 50%? Even though people making this much would barely qualify as middle class, even in the bottom 20% of states with cost of living.
My friend, I'm not entirely sure where you've gotten those numbers, but that's blatantly false.
Okay.
Individuals making that much money will not see their taxes rise that much. Our tax increases are geared towards making sure that corporations like Amazon, who don't pay any taxes in this country, pay their fair share. And making sure that individuals like Mike Bloomberg, who pay nothing out of the total amount of money that they have, are paying their fair share into our system. The working class and the middle class will not see their overall costs go up, even if taxes go up, because cost as a whole will be going down.
Continued into, a lot of people have issues essentially with the some things his campaign has said. One of the things is that people see him as an insider, having over 30 years of both House and Senate experience combined. He's been on 5 different committees, and people have really been feeling more of an outsider challenge, like Donald Trump, like Mayor Pete Buttigieg. However, his campaign argued back that he's not an insider per se.
Despite being a member of the House and the Senate for 30 years, I highly doubt many of my colleagues would consider me an insider. But I have that experience because I've worked in DC for these past 30 years. I stick to my morals, I know what I believe in, I know what I'm fighting for, and I have the experience to make sure that we get things done.
Also clarified issues regarding his foreign policy stance. He said that he was trying to support international lives, trying to save people outside this country. Yet he said he's also cutting back on the military and bringing troops home. He's doing this because he is essentially putting more money into the State Department and into diplomacy, which is really the cornerstone of his foreign policy development.
The best way to protect people abroad and at home is not through increasing our military budget and invading other countries as we've done in the past. The best way to protect human life and make people's lives better is through diplomacy, is through strengthening the State Department and through increasing the diplomatic engagement we have with not just our allies but our adversaries. That is how we will drive this world forward and make it a better place for everyone, no matter where they live.
Right, I think very unique because, at first it kind of seems contradictory what he's doing, but he kind of came back and explained it, and I think he did a pretty good job with it.
He did. He definitely clarified a lot of issues people have.
Yeah, definitely did. So lastly, he just talked about, we asked, what would you want to say to your supporters? What's one thing? Because he has a pretty good base, I think, for sure. And he said, he stayed on message. He said, it's not me, it's us.
This movement is not about me. It's about us, together. You've built something powerful, and we could not have done this without you.
He's really been a man of the people, is what the image he's trying to build.
Yeah, I think that's very important because we had a lot of other candidates that didn't really stay on message. It had kind of been all over the place, but his campaign has done a good job of staying on message.
Yeah, it looks good for his campaign. It really does.
Yeah, it does. All right, well, thank you guys so much again for joining us this morning, and we'll be back next week.
All right, see y'all then.